Welcome back, cultivators. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for the incredible support on this channel. We're growing stronger every day. We've already crossed 500 amazing subscribers, and now the next big milestone is 1000. So if you enjoy these Donghua recaps and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Every bit of support really helps, and it means a lot. Now, on to today's episode. Wang Lin shattered the endless cycle of reincarnation and finally stepped into the supreme realm of nirvana. With that overwhelming divine power, he descended upon the Tianyun Sect once more. The entire sect trembled under the weight of his presence. Countless powerful cultivators spread their divine sense, horrified and in disbelief. They whispered among themselves, "This boy, he is no longer a dragon trapped in a shallow pond." All of his former fellow disciples were left speechless, stunned at how far he had come. Even Sword Master Ling Tianho, known for his pride, couldn't hide his shock. His eyes widened as he cried out, "This boy's path, it surpasses even my sword intent." But what truly stunned everyone was when Wang Lin's fourth senior sister, Zhao Xinmeng, openly offered her chastity to him, a gesture that spoke volumes of how deeply his return had shaken the sect. Not long after his arrival, Wang Lin was formally accepted as the direct disciple of Tianyun Sect himself. He was taught the fearsome immortal art known as the Slaughter Immortals technique, and was even allowed to train within the perilous land of monsters and spirits. Yet beneath that kindness, Tianyun Sect had a darker plan. His true purpose was not to nurture Wang Lin, but to wait patiently until the boy grew stronger, so that he could devour him whole. Wang Lin, perceptive as ever, gradually came to sense the hidden truths behind Tianyun Sect's actions. Within the land of monsters and spirits, he realized the dangers and turned his back on the Tianyun Sect to survive. It was there that he obtained a priceless treasure, an immortal mansion token, the key to unlocking the Qinglin Immortal Emperor's cave mansion. That token became both his blessing and his curse, for it made him the target of Tianyun Sect and countless other powerhouses. Forced into a desperate escape, Wang Lin was swallowed by a mysterious vortex and carried all the way to the distant Luotian star domain. In that strange and dangerous land, he battled monsters endlessly, sharpening his will and rapidly ascending in strength. When war finally broke out between the Luotian star domain and the Alliance star domain, Wang Lin's path inevitably brought him back to Tianyun star once more. By then, his cultivation had already reached the initial stage of nirvana. He was no longer the weak disciple who could be bullied or hunted. Even against a pure nirvana expert, Wang Lin now had the strength to fight, and if not to win, at least to escape alive. But Tianyun Sect was no fool. He had calculated Wang Lin's return long before it happened. On the very day Wang Lin set foot back on Tianyun star, countless experts were already gathered in the Tianyun Sect's main square, waiting like hungry wolves to strip the immortal mansion token from him. Among those gathered, Bai Wei stood silently, her expression complicated. She could hardly imagine what the young man she once knew had become. Beside her stood their eldest senior brother, Zhao Xinmeng, his gaze sharp and filled with hostility. Over the years, he had advanced steadily in cultivation, nearing the threshold of the Inshu realm, and he was confident he could never lose to Wang Lin. On the other side of the square, a woman in a purple dress stood quietly, her face downcast. She was Wang Lin's fourth senior sister, Zhao Xinmeng. In the past, she had once been coerced by Zhao Xinmeng into betraying him. Though she had later taught Wang Lin the great teleportation technique as a way to atone, the guilt of that moment had never left her. Further off stood Sima Ruffing, clad in elegant blue robes embroidered with three lifelike azure dragons. He too had been one of those who once surrounded Wang Lin in battle. Now, like everyone else present, he waited to see whether the man they once scorned would survive his return. The sect square buzzed with anticipation. Most believed that if Wang Lin truly dared to appear, he would not be able to leave alive. And then, as countless eyes turned to the heavens, a solitary figure in white appeared in the distance, slowly walking forward. His black hair flowed freely, contrasting with his snow-white robes, and in that moment, everyone recognized him. It was Wang Lin. Even Ling Tianho, who tried to appear cold and indifferent, felt his heart tremble. He could see clearly that Wang Lin had reached the Nirvana Realm, and the mark between his brows revealed that he had seized an extraordinary opportunity. Around the sect, murmurs spread. Someone whispered in awe, "The vermilion bird mark." Wang Lin descended calmly, his expression steady, and offered a respectful salute to Tianyun Sect. His master's gaze was unreadable, strange and heavy, but he still returned the gesture with an air of calm authority. remarking that several elders had questions for Wang Lin. At that moment, a middle-aged man behind Ling Tianhou burst out in fury, loudly accusing Wang Lin of murdering disciples of the Donghua sword sect during his time in the land of monsters and spirits. He even claimed that Wang Lin had slaughtered all but one of the famous Jian Shao 12 sons. But Wang Lin merely gave him a cold glance and asked, without raising his voice, "Do you even have the right to speak to me?" The man froze. Ling Tianhou himself stepped in, silencing his disciples and openly acknowledging Wang Lin's terrifying progress. To reach such a realm in only a few hundred years. "I cannot help but admire you," he admitted. His words left the square buzzing in shock. Bai Wei gasped, her disbelief painted across her face, while Zhao Xingxia's confidence wavered for the first time. No one had imagined that Wang Lin's cultivation had soared to such heights. But the elders were not so easily impressed. Their eyes gleamed with greed as they pressed him further, demanding to know about the Immortal Mansion token. With composure, Wang Lin admitted that he did indeed possess it, but explained that he had only taken it to save his own life back then. The atmosphere instantly turned tense. Some of the old monsters threatened him outright, demanding he hand over the token. In a flash, one elder attacked. Wang Lin did not flinch. His hand rose, and with a thunderous boom, he unleashed a swirling black vortex that swallowed the incoming sword light. The air cracked as his aura surged forward. Before the clash could escalate, Tianyun Sect intervened. With a casual wave of his sleeve, a multicolored wind swept across the square, dispersing the attacks and restoring calm. His voice was calm but carried undeniable authority as he reminded Ling Tianhou and the others, "Do not forget, this is the territory of the Tianyun Sect." But Ling Tianhou was not willing to back down. He accused Tianyun Sect of wanting the Immortal Mansion token for himself. Tianyun Sect only replied evenly, "As long as Wang Lin has not betrayed me, he is still a disciple of Tianyun Sect. You cannot simply strike him down at will." Still, Ling Tianhou pressed forward, his tone sharp. He declared that Wang Lin had slain too many of his sect's disciples and demanded that Wang Lin take 3 of his sword strikes. Only then would the grudge be settled. He even threatened Tianyun Sect directly, warning that if he blocked him again, he would not hesitate to start a war. Faced with this challenge, Wang Lin remained calm. Ling Tianhou's first sword came like a roaring dragon, splitting the sky itself. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed as he clenched his fist, meeting it head-on. With a thunderous crack, his punch shattered the sword energy, though he staggered back 2 steps. His expression remained steady. The second sword was even fiercer, tearing through the void itself. This time, Wang Lin did not retreat. With a booming laugh, he stepped forward, his fist surging with crystal-like light. The energy from his brows flared, and with a single strike, he met the attack head-on. And then, with a thought, 27 flying swords materialized around him, forming a dazzling sword formation that shot directly toward Ling Tianhou. The crowd gasped in shock at the display. Even Tianyun Sect was surprised. He had expected Wang Lin to have grown stronger, but not to this level. Ling Tianhou's eyes narrowed. For the first time, he acknowledged Wang Lin as a true opponent. With a roar, his 4 Yuanshan swords merged into one, transforming into a single devastating blade that pierced toward Wang Lin. But Wang Lin was unshaken. With a shout, he summoned more blades. 45 flying swords whirled into a massive vortex of sword light. At the same time, he unleashed the fearsome Zhanlua art. The collision of forces was apocalyptic. If Tianyun Sect had not acted quickly to shield the surroundings, the entire Tianyun star itself might have been torn apart. When the light finally faded, Wang Lin stood panting. His swords dimmed slightly, and though he was repelled, Ling Tianhou's terrifying combined sword attack had been broken apart. Ling Tianhou threw back his head and laughed. "Enough. The grudge between you and the Donghua sword sect is erased. From this day, you are qualified to hold the Immortal Mansion token. In the future, we will explore the Immortal Mansion together." With that, he led his disciples away. Wang Lin remained silent, but in his heart he understood that Ling Tianhou's words carried a deeper meaning. Still, he could not question it now. Around him, the crowd remained stunned. Bai Wei's eyes shone with excitement, while Zhao Xingxia's face had gone pale. He dared not challenge Wang Lin any longer. Even Zhao Xinmeng, who had always kept herself distant, now looked at Wang Lin with flickering eyes, a faint hope rising in her heart. One by one, the old monsters dispersed. Some gave Wang Lin advice, others invited him as a guest, treating him no longer as a junior but as an equal. Finally, the square fell silent, leaving only Wang Lin and Tianyun Sect standing face to face. The master and disciple stared at one another for a long time before Tianyun Sect finally broke the silence, asking what his disciple intended to do next. Wang Lin replied respectfully that he wished to enter the land of monsters and spirits again. Tianyun Sect nodded with a smile. He confirmed that Wang Lin was indeed qualified, then revealed a shocking truth. Wang Lin was a true Luotian Thunder Immortal, and one of the only 3 vermilion bird sequence cultivators of their generation. Wang Lin did not outwardly react, but deep inside he was shaken. He had never known the full details of the vermilion bird lineage, yet he burned the information into his memory. Later, he returned to the Zilin Pavilion. Sitting in silence, he watched an oil lamp sway in the night wind, its flame flickering, sometimes bright, sometimes dim, just like the inscrutable aura that Tianyun Sect always gave him. A master impossible to fully read. As he sat deep in thought, light footsteps approached from outside. A woman in a purple dress appeared at the doorway. Her face was familiar yet filled with hesitation. It was Zhao Xinmeng, his 4th senior sister. Her eyes were complicated, her voice soft as she whispered, "Wang Lin, you've really come back." Wang Lin turned slowly, his expression calm. He harbored little resentment toward her. After all, though she had once betrayed him under Zhao Xingxia's coercion, she had also taught him the great teleportation technique as compensation. He simply nodded, and said nothing. The night was silent when the 4th senior sister, Zhao Xinmeng, entered Wang Lin's room. Her eyes swept across the tidy space, lingering as though she were searching for traces of the boy she once knew. For a moment, she said nothing. Then, in a quiet voice, she confessed that rumors about him had spread through the sect for years. Some said he had already fallen. Others whispered he had turned into a terrifying demon. But seeing him here today, she finally knew none of those tales were true. Wang Lin smiled faintly, his tone calm and dismissive. People's words are always frightening. Why trouble yourself with whether they're true or false? Zhao Xinmeng hesitated. Her lips parted as though she wanted to speak, but instead she sighed softly. She warned him about Zhao Xinxia, who had now advanced to the Inshu stage. Though Zhao Xinxia had appeared afraid earlier, his pride and temper would never allow him to simply let things go. She urged Wang Lin to be cautious. Wang Lin only nodded. He had already anticipated Zhao Xingxia's hostility, but in his heart he no longer regarded it as anything worth worrying over. He was no longer that cautious, fragile cultivator of the past. The 4th senior sister lingered for a while, her gaze full of unspoken words. But in the end, she only bowed lightly, then turned and left, her silhouette vanishing into the darkness of the night as though she had never been there at all. As dawn's first light touched the sky, Wang Lin moved toward the window. But before he could step outside, Zhao Xinmeng's hesitant voice called out once again from beyond the door. This time, her tone carried unease. Calmly, Wang Lin invited her in. She entered quietly and sat on a chair, staring ahead without a word for what felt like an eternity. Wang Lin sensed something unusual, a faint thread of divine consciousness slowly extending from her brows, reaching out toward him with hesitation. The very instant it was about to touch him, his eyes snapped open. A sharp gleam of light flickered within them, locking her consciousness in place. Zhao Xinmeng's face turned pale, her entire being trembling under the crushing weight of his power. If she dared to move forward even a fraction, her sense would be devoured instantly. Only when Wang Lin relaxed his grip did she manage to withdraw, her expression shaken. She looked at him with fear and frustration, while he simply smiled faintly and asked why she had returned. At last, Zhao Xinmeng broke her silence. She whispered that his cultivation had already reached the 2nd level, but wasn't he afraid of meeting disaster by returning to the Tianyun Sect? Her voice dropped even lower, trembling as she revealed the dark truth. If Wang Lin had stayed in the sect during the past 100 years, he too would have disappeared without a trace. She confessed that among the thousands of disciples of Tianyun Sect, not a single one besides the sect master had managed to truly advance. Even the 7 most direct descendants had all mysteriously vanished within a year of reaching Inshu. This was the terrifying taboo hidden deep within the sect's history. Back then, Wang Lin's cultivation was still shallow, and he could not have known. He remained silent, his expression calm though his heart grew heavier. Gently, he asked if this was the reason for the 6 seals within her body. Her eyes dimmed with sorrow. She gave a bitter smile. Apart from sealing myself, what else could I do? My soul is in Master's hands. I cannot escape. Even if I fled, the moment Master released a divine thought, my soul would shatter no matter where I hid. She explained further, she was not alone. Many of their fellow disciples had sealed their own cultivation in fear of this mysterious curse. But none dared to unseal it, because the moment the seal was undone, even if they tried to reseal it, the curse would still come, and they would vanish within a year. Even those who fought in battles and deliberately lowered their cultivation were not spared. A tremor of fear rippled through her voice as she continued. Their master, Tianyun Sect, had never interfered with their self-sealing. It was as if he did not notice. Or perhaps he chose not to. But time and again, as soon as the seal broke, doom descended. She recounted one chilling story. 500 years ago, an orange-robed disciple's seal reached its limit and burst open on its own. By the very next day, he was gone without a trace. Zhao Xinmeng's voice grew faint, trembling with despair. She confessed that her own seal had begun loosening a century ago, and recently she could no longer control it. Her eyes brimmed with tears as she begged Wang Lin to save her. She did not ask him to free her soul from Tianyun Sect's grasp, only to help her stabilize the seal once again, to keep her locked forever in the late stage of infant transformation. Her body trembled as she rose to kneel before him, but Wang Lin gently lifted her up with a wave of his hand. His tone grew solemn. I will consider your request. For a while, Zhao Xinmeng was silent. Then, her voice dropped into a whisper. She revealed something that made Wang Lin frown. Though her cultivation was not high, she had remained pure for thousands of years. If Wang Lin was willing to help her strengthen the seal, she was prepared to give him her Yuan Yin essence, a power cultivated over millennia that she had never once surrendered. Her face flushed deeply as she lifted her sleeve, revealing the mark of chastity etched upon her arm. She bit her lip, lowering the fabric once again, before glancing shyly yet desperately at him. Without another word, she turned and left, her figure fading into the quiet dawn. Alone, Zhao Xinmeng's heart trembled with conflicting emotions. This was her last hope. She judged that for Wang Lin to fight Ling Tianho meant his cultivation had already soared beyond reach, into the pure Nirvana realm itself. Only someone like him could suppress the terrifying seal that had doomed so many disciples. But she also knew the truth. With her master's power and influence, no one else in the world would dare to interfere. Wang Lin sat alone in the silent room, his gaze deep and unreadable. Helping Zhao Xinmeng would not be difficult, but to do so would place him at odds with Tianyun Sect. And in his heart, Wang Lin knew, the strange seal that haunted his senior sister was not a simple matter. Behind his master's indifference, there was undoubtedly a far darker secret yet to be uncovered. And with that thought, the night grew still once more, leaving Wang Lin to contemplate the storm that was yet to come.